Hello, so here's the notes on day 2 with word problems with multi-step equations, lesson 9A. Today students will be able to solve word problems involving multi-step equations. Students will be able to write the mathematical properties used when solving equations, and this is important for real life problems. So I wrote in a couple of things here, some things to star and note. Please make sure that you fill in the word than. We will be circling, and whatever comes after the word than is really what comes first. That's what gets the variable. So if I'm comparing and saying my sister is older than me, then I would get the variable and my sister is compared to that. It's what we know the least about that gets the variable. But whatever we're comparing to after the word than gets the variable, and then we read backwards from there to set up our expression. The next thing here says draw a picture. So when you are figuring out these problems, especially if they talk about a shape, make sure that you actually draw a picture of the shape because it will help you see it. And then the other suggestion here is to leave blanks for things and label the blanks. So for example, number 1 says the width of a rectangle. I'm going to stop there. The width of a rectangle means I should probably draw a rectangle. So I'm going to draw the rectangle. I'm going to draw a picture. The width of a rectangle is 9 more than the length. Okay, so I'm talking about the width and the length. So since I see the word than, I circled it. The width of a rectangle is 9 more than the length. So let's let L represent the length. That gets the variable because that's what we're comparing to. If the perimeter is 50, find the width and the length. Okay, so again, we're going to go back to this first sentence and really dive into that. So the width of a rectangle is 9 more than the length. So I'm going to label the length as L. And then it tells me something about the width, because I don't want to have 2 different letters here because then we can't solve. We want to have the same letter. So how are they comparing to the length? Well, the width is 9 more than the length. So the width would start with the length, working backwards, and then it says more 9. 9 more than that. So L plus 9. That's how we would write that. And that's an L. Sorry, I know it's kind of a weird, it's like a cursive L. There we go. So the width of the rectangle is 9 more than the length. Length gets the L, and width gets the comparison phrase, the little comparison. So the width of a rectangle is 9 more than the length. And so these are being compared. So they both should have that letter in there, but that's how you read it. So you read that first sentence a few times and it'll help you set it up. Now we actually look for what they're using the width and length for. So it says perimeter. So we have to remember perimeter is the outsides all together. So I have a couple different lengths and a couple different widths. I'm going to go along this way, and that's L plus 9, L plus 9. Plus, there's another side here. This is another copy of the length, and then another copy of the L plus 9. L plus 9. And I only put that in parentheses just so that you can see they are together. So that's the length and the widths together. And it says that the perimeter is 50. All right, so there's our setup. At this point, it's just a matter of combining like terms and solving. So at this point, I see my L's, 1, 2, 3, 4 L's. So I'm going to write 4L plus, I've got some constants here. I've got plus 9, so that means 4L's plus 18 will equal 50. And then we would solve from there. All right, so it's asking for the length and the width, so I have to go ahead and continue solving and then figure out the length. Once I do that, then we add for the width. I'm going to have to continue this over here in this space, just for sake of space. So I'm going to copy down 4L's plus 18 equals 50. Draw my line, circle my variable. The thing farthest from the variable is this 18. They added 18, so I'll subtract 18. Remember, inverse operations means we do the opposite. And I copy it on both sides of that equation. So these cancel out to a 0. I'm left with 4L that I bring down. 4L's now will equal, if I do this little bit of math right, then I get 32. 4L's is equal to 32. So when I divide by 4, we get L is equal to 8. All right, so what does that tell me? L equals 8. Well, L was representing the length, so that tells me, and here's a big old sentence here, that the length is 8, and the width is 9 more than that. So the width would be 8 plus 9. 8 plus 9 means the width is 17. So there we go. The width of the rectangle is 17, and the length is 8. All right, let's look at another one just like that. Number 2. The length of the rectangle is 7 more than the width. Rectangle. Draw a rectangle. I'll draw smaller this time so that I have more space to work out the problem. There's my rectangle. The length of a rectangle is 7 more than, we're going to circle it, the width. So let's let W represent width. Okay, remember it's whatever comes after the word than that gets the letter. So the length of the rectangle is 7 more than the width. So I'm going to put W in for the width, and then I use the comparison phrase for the rest of it. So 7 more than the width means it started with the width and then added 7. More means add, right? Okay, so there's my setup, and now I can read the rest. If the perimeter is 70, find the width and length. So perimeter again means add all the sides. So we've got W plus 7 plus W plus W plus 7 again because of the top matching the bottom, and then another W. And that perimeter this time will equal 70. All right, so hopefully you see the like terms to combine. We've got W plus W plus W plus W. They all have matching letters. And so I have 4 W's plus 7 is 14 will equal 70. Draw the line, circle the variable, and we solve by starting with some subtraction. So I'll subtract that 14, subtract out the constant, and that leaves me with, let's see, 56. All right, so that means, and sorry, again, I'm going to have to write some work over here. That means I have 4 W's equals 56. Again, I got that from right here. 4 W's equals 56. Divide by 4 on both sides, we get W equals 14. All right, so that told me the width. So over here, we won't write the whole sentence just for sake of time. We'll just write width equals 14 because that's what the W stood for. So now I know that's 14. And the length was 14 and 7 more. 14 plus 7 would be 21, so that means the length is 21. All right, go ahead and try number 3 completely on your own. See if you can figure out what to let what represent what, and see if you can find, looks like this one's the width and the length. So again, on the side, you can just write width equals and length equals. All right, if you want to, you can pause the video now and ask for help if you need help with setting that one up. Otherwise, on to number 4. Number 4 gives you people's ages. So it says the sum of Allie and Mel's age is 39. Now this one wouldn't make as much sense to draw a picture of. I'm not going to draw a picture of Allie and Mel, but I'm going to leave blanks. I'm going to say that this blank is for Allie and this blank is for Mel. And it tells me the sum. The sum means we're going to add Allie and Mel's age, and it is means equals 39. So whatever phrases they have in here, math phrases, we know we're going to be adding Allie's age to Mel's age, and it should be 39 together. So they need to give us some more information, so let's look at the second sentence. If Mel is 3 years younger than twice Allie's age, how old are Allie and Mel? So there's that word than again. Every time we see a comparison, they like to use this word than. Sometimes it's as long as or as wide as, but this time it's a than. So what's coming after the word than? Twice Allie's age. So let's let A represent Allie, Allie's age. Since we're letting A represent Allie's age for Allie, I'm going to fill in A. Now for Mel, it says Mel is 3 years younger than twice Allie's age, which means they took Allie's age. Twice means multiplied it by 2, so I'll throw a 2 in front of it. And then it says 3 years younger, or younger 3 years. Younger means less or minus 3. So if Mel is 3 years younger than twice Allie's age, 3 years younger than twice her age is how we would write Mel's expression. How old are Allie and Mel? So now we have an expression for Mel. We assigned a variable to Allie, and now it's the same as before. So we have a plus 2a would give us 3a minus 3 equals 39. Draw your line, circle the variable. The thing farthest away is the minus 3. So we will add 3 to both sides. Those cancel out. We get 3a equals 42. And then our last step here would be divide both sides by 3. And we get a equals, let's see, goes in once and then it goes in 4 times. So a equals 14. All right, so what does that tell me? Well, a was representing Allie's age, so that tells me Allie is 14. And Mel, we still have to figure out. Mel, we need to take that 14, multiply it by 2 to get 28, and then take away 3. Take away 3. And 28 minus 3 is 25. 25 right there. So that tells me Allie is 14 and Mel is 25. We do want to make sure the sum of their ages would be 39. And if you think about it, 14 and 25, that's a 9, that's a 3, would have an age total of 39. So we know that we're correct. All right, so let's move on. Let's look at another one, number 5. We're going to look at the perimeter this time of a triangle. All right, so hopefully you're seeing a little pattern with all this. It's just a lot of the same thing. So triangle means we're going to draw a little triangle here. The perimeter of a triangle is 64 centimeters. So perimeter means add all the sides. So I'm going to leave blanks. Blank plus blank plus blank equals 64. So whatever these sides are, it's going to equal 64. The second side is twice as long as the first side. I'm going to stop there. There's a comparison. The third side is 4 centimeters more than the second side. How long is each side? So it looks like the third side's compared to the second, but the second is compared to the first, so the first is what gets the variable. So the second side is twice as long as the first side. Let's let x represent the first side. The first side. Which means I'm going to put in an X for this first side, and I'm going to label my little triangle over here with an X for the first side, whatever side you see as the first one. So there's the first, the second, the third. The second side is twice as long as the first. So pick a second side, and twice means 2 times the first. So twice the first, like that. Now the third side is 4 centimeters more than the second side. Well, we just said the second side was 2x. So this third side is going to have 2x, the second side. The third side is 4 centimeters more than that. So more means we add. So we're going to write it like that. So this third side is going to be 2x plus 4. So we started with the first side. This was twice as much. And then this is 4 more than that. So that's how we write our expressions. It really does help if you leave blanks for each part. All right, so then we add up all our like terms. X plus 2x is 3x, plus 2 more x's is 5x. The only constant I have here is a plus 4 equals 64. We draw our line, we circle the variable, subtract 4 from both sides. We end up with 5x equals 60. Divide both sides by 5, and we figure out that x equals 12. But we have to think of what that means. So if x is 12, that means the first side is 12. So the sides of the triangle are 12. The second side was twice that. So that would be 24. And the third side is 4 more than that. So that third side will be 28. And if you add all those together, it should equal 64. So let's add those up. 28 and 12 in my head, that's going to be 40 plus 24 would be 64. We know we're right. All right, so the key to all of these are just reading each sentence little by little, looking for what they are asking, and drawing diagrams and leaving blanks for what they mean. Go ahead and try number 6 on your own, and in class we will be discussing the other problems. Good luck, take your time, watch this again if you need to.